Mel Robbins discovered the 5-second rule during a particularly difficult period in her life. Facing financial troubles, career setbacks, and relationship strain, she struggled to get out of bed each morning. One night while watching a rocket launch on television, she had an epiphany that would change everything. The next morning, instead of hitting the snooze button, she counted down from 5 and physically launched herself out of bed. This simple act became the foundation for a transformative tool that has since helped millions of people overcome hesitation, fear, and self-doubt. The 5-second rule operates on a remarkably simple premise. When you feel an instinct to act on a goal, you must physically move within 5 seconds or your brain will kill the idea. Counting backwards from 5 to 1 and then moving activates your prefrontal cortex, helping you bypass the hesitation and fear responses that typically prevent action. This technique creates a form of starting ritual that bridges the gap between thought and action, allowing you to push past your comfort zone and take control of your decisions. At its core, the 5-second rule addresses the fundamental disconnect between knowing what we should do and actually doing it. Most people fail to change not because they lack knowledge but because they struggle with implementation. The rule works by interrupting the habits of hesitation, worry, and self-doubt that prevent forward momentum. It acknowledges that feelings follow behavior, not the other way around. You cannot wait until you feel ready to act. Throughout her book, Robbins weaves scientific research with personal stories and accounts from thousands of people who have applied the rule to transform their lives. While the technique may seem deceptively simple, its applications span every domain of human experience from productivity and health to courage and relationships. By understanding the psychological mechanisms behind why it works, readers gain not just a hack but a comprehensive approach to breaking through the barriers that have held them back. The science behind the rule. The 5-second rule works by engaging the prefrontal cortex, the brain's executive function center, before the limbic system can activate fear responses. When we face situations requiring change or involving uncertainty, the amygdala triggers a stress response designed to protect us. This physiological reaction was helpful for our ancestors facing physical threats but becomes counterproductive when it stops us from taking beneficial actions like speaking up in meetings, starting exercise routines, or having difficult conversations. Research in neuroscience reveals that the moment of hesitation, when we think about doing something but don't act, lasts about 5 seconds. During this critical window, the brain processes risk assessment and often defaults to maintaining the status quo. By counting backwards from 5, we create a mental distraction that interrupts this pattern. The countdown format requires attention, temporarily preventing overthinking while creating a defined endpoint that prompts movement. Metacognition, thinking about our thinking, plays a crucial role in the rule's effectiveness. When we become aware of our hesitation patterns, we gain the ability to intervene. The rule creates metacognitive awareness of the moments when we're about to talk ourselves out of action. By identifying these pivotal moments and creating a standard response, we establish a new decision-making pathway that bypasses our usual excuses and procrastination habits. The rule also leverages what psychologists call behavioral activation. This therapeutic approach recognizes that action precedes motivation, not the other way around. By forcing physical movement before emotional readiness, we trigger a positive feedback loop. Action generates energy and momentum, which then creates more positive emotions, which in turn makes additional action easier. This reverses the common misconception that we must feel good or confident before taking action. Heart rate variability studies show that the simple act of counting backwards creates a pattern interrupt in the nervous system, briefly shifting us from parasympathetic to sympathetic activation. When followed immediately by purposeful action, this physiological shift helps overcome inertia. The rule essentially tricks your nervous system into producing the energy needed to break through resistance, generating what Robbins calls activation energy for difficult tasks. Applications for productivity and stopping procrastination. Procrastination represents one of the most common productivity challenges, and the 5-second rule offers a direct intervention for this habit. When facing a task you're avoiding, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and immediately take a small action in the right direction. This might mean opening the document you need to work on, making the first call on your list, or simply standing up from your desk to tackle that postponed errand. The rule works particularly well for morning routines, which often set the tone for the entire day. Many readers report using it to overcome the temptation to hit the snooze button, establishing a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go ritual the moment their alarm sounds. This single victory first thing in the morning creates momentum that carries into other activities. Building what psychologists call the success spiral, each small win increases confidence for the next challenge. For managing distractions, the rule provides an immediate pattern interrupt when you notice your attention drifting. The moment you catch yourself reaching for your phone during work, scrolling social media, or engaging in other productivity-killing habits, count down and redirect yourself to the important task at hand. This builds the metacognitive awareness necessary for sustained focus and deep work. Decision fatigue, the deterioration of decision quality after making many consecutive choices, can be countered using the rule to push through moments of indecision. When caught in analysis paralysis or overthinking options, a 5-second countdown forces commitment to a direction. This doesn't guarantee perfect decisions, but it prevents the energy drain and lost time that comes from excessive deliberation. The "just for 5 minutes" technique pairs naturally with the rule for larger, more daunting projects. Count down and commit to working on a challenging task for just 5 minutes. This overcomes the initial resistance, and most people find that once started, they continue working past the 5-minute mark. This approach acknowledges that beginning is often the hardest part of any endeavor. Time blocking becomes more effective when reinforced with the rule. After scheduling important work, use the countdown when the designated time arrives to overcome the inevitable resistance to starting. This creates a decisive boundary between planning and execution, preventing the common pattern of creating schedules that are never followed. Building courage and confidence. The 5-second rule finds perhaps its most powerful application in building courage for the moments that define our lives. Courage isn't the absence of fear but rather action despite fear. When facing situations that trigger anxiety, public speaking, confronting someone, sharing creative work, or making requests, the rule provides a concrete method to move forward despite emotional discomfort. Rejection and failure become less paralyzing when the rule is applied at the moment of hesitation. Whether asking for a raise, pitching an idea, or approaching someone new, the countdown creates enough momentum to push through the fear of negative outcomes. This isn't about eliminating rejection but rather about ensuring that fear of rejection doesn't determine your choices. Speaking up in meetings, classes, or social situations often involves overcoming the hesitation that keeps important contributions unshared. Many people report using the rule to push past the self-doubt that silences them in group settings. The brief countdown creates just enough courage to raise a hand or voice a thought before self-censorship takes hold. Imposter syndrome, the persistent feeling of inadequacy despite evidence of competence, responds particularly well to the rule's intervention. When thoughts like, "I don't belong here," or "I'm not qualified," arise, counting down helps interrupt the negative spiral before it gains momentum. This doesn't eliminate the feelings entirely but prevents them from dictating behavior. Addressing difficult conversations becomes more manageable when the rule is applied at the moment you consider initiating them. Relationship challenges, feedback discussions, and boundary-setting conversations often get postponed indefinitely due to discomfort. The countdown helps overcome the resistance to starting these essential but uncomfortable exchanges. Public speaking anxiety, one of the most common fears, can be managed more effectively using the rule at multiple points. Use it to counter avoidance when preparing, to push through nerves before walking on stage, and to redirect attention when anxiety spikes during the presentation. This creates multiple interventions that collectively build speaking confidence. Taking creative risks involves overcoming the vulnerability that comes with sharing original work. Whether publishing writing, showing art, or presenting innovative ideas, the rule helps push past the perfectionism and fear of judgment that keeps creative work hidden. The countdown creates enough momentum to click, submit, share, or send, before second guessing takes over. Health, wellness, and breaking bad habits. Health transformations often falter not from lack of knowledge but from failure to consistently implement healthy behaviors. The 5-second rule provides the bridge between intention and action for exercise, nutrition, and other wellness practices. When the thought of going to the gym arises, counting down and moving immediately bypasses the excuses that typically derail fitness plans. Breaking destructive habits becomes more manageable when the rule is applied at the moment of temptation. Whether reaching for a cigarette, opening a social media app, or grabbing unhealthy food, the countdown creates a moment of choice awareness that interrupts automatic behavior. This pause allows for a conscious decision rather than a compulsive reaction. Sleep hygiene improves when the rule helps establish consistent bedtime routines. Many people struggle to transition from evening activities to sleep preparation, often postponing bedtime despite knowing better. Counting down when you first think, "I should go to bed," helps overcome the temptation to watch one more episode or continue scrolling, establishing healthier sleep patterns. Emotional eating and other stress-related responses can be managed more effectively by using the rule to create alternative actions when emotional triggers arise. Counting down and then engaging in a predetermined healthy activity, drinking water, taking a walk. Practicing deep breathing creates new neural pathways that eventually become automatic responses to stress. Addiction recovery finds support in the rule's ability to interrupt craving cycles. While not a replacement for comprehensive treatment, the technique helps create the crucial pause between urge and action where choice becomes possible. Many in recovery report using the countdown to initiate their practiced coping strategies when temptation arises. Morning hydration and other health-promoting habits become more consistent when paired with the rule. Setting a glass of water beside the bed and using the countdown to drink it first thing in the morning establishes a pattern of positive health choices that can expand to other behaviors throughout the day. Exercise motivation fluctuates naturally, making consistency challenging even for those committed to fitness. The rule acknowledges this reality and provides a tool for pushing through the inevitable days when motivation is low. Rather than waiting for inspiration, counting down and putting on workout clothes creates enough momentum to begin, after which the activity often sustains itself. Improving relationships and communication. Relationships thrive on authentic communication, yet fear often prevents us from expressing our true thoughts and feelings. The 5-second rule helps overcome the hesitation that keeps important words unspoken. Whether expressing appreciation, addressing concerns, or sharing vulnerable feelings, the countdown creates the courage needed for relationship-deepening honesty. Active listening improves when the rule helps interrupt the habit of formulating responses while others are speaking. When catching yourself planning what to say next rather than fully attending to someone's words, a mental countdown can redirect attention back to the speaker, enhancing connection and understanding. Conflict avoidance. Postponing necessary discussions due to discomfort often damages relationships more than the conflict itself. The rule provides a concrete method for initiating difficult conversations before resentment builds. Counting down helps overcome the resistance to addressing issues openly and constructively. Expressing needs directly challenges many people who have been conditioned to prioritize harmony over authenticity. The rule supports clearer communication by helping overcome the hesitation to make direct requests. Whether asking for help, stating preferences, or establishing boundaries, the countdown creates enough courage to express needs clearly. Apologizing promptly becomes easier when the rule helps overcome pride or embarrassment after making mistakes. The countdown interrupts the justification process that often delays genuine apologies, allowing for quicker resolution and relationship repair after conflicts or missteps. Reducing defensive reactions improves relationship dynamics substantially. When feeling attacked or criticized, a mental 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 creates a momentary pause that can prevent automatic defensive responses. This brief intervention allows for more thoughtful, non-reactive communication even in emotionally charged situations. Expressing gratitude and appreciation often gets postponed despite good intentions. The rule helps overcome the hesitation that prevents acknowledging others' contributions and positive qualities. Counting down when thinking about expressing thanks helps ensure that appreciative thoughts become spoken words rather than missed opportunities.